Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to explain the morphing section in Monique. What this allows you to do is mix between different parts of different presets, either in a production environment or even a live performance DJ sort of setting. It's a lot of fun, it's a great hands-on way of working with the instrument, and this is how it works. Now, this is the main morphing section, this grey square here. However, to configure the thing, we actually need to open up the edit bit. So I'll go ahead and click edit. And then you can see this bottom section is now dedicated to morphing. First of all, let's take a look at the filter morph. What we can do is choose the filter settings from two different presets and mix between them. That's the idea. There's the left side, which we can choose from this left bit here. Let's say one of the ambience, ambient 1, and then a right side. What about leader 8? That should be good. And then we can use the mod mixer to mix between those two different filter presets. As I move it from the left side to the right, you can see all the filter settings change. Essentially, we're taking the filter settings from one existing preset and mixing it into the filter settings from another preset. So that's all the way to the right, therefore it's the filter settings from leader 8. Whereas if I mix it to the left, then it's purely the filter settings from ambient 1. See the left side, ambient 1. And that's basically what's going on in this morph mixer. For each one of these categories, you're choosing a component of a preset and mixing that into that component of a different preset. But here's where it starts to get interesting. We can actually manipulate this morph mix position in a variety of ways, one of which is with an LFO or a low frequency oscillator. It's nice and easy to set up. All you need to do is toggle this MFO button here. Do you see now all the filter settings being modulated between one state and the other? It's really cool. And of course, we can configure this LFO. So I'm going to choose a faster rate. We configure the LFO by clicking this button down there. And I'll choose a rate a little bit faster, maybe a quarter division. Or a bit slower. Maybe give it a more square vibe. Like so. You can even see with visual feedback how this LFO is changing as I change the wave type. But we don't have to stop there. We can actually modulate multiple things inside of this morph section at the same time. So right now there is a filter morph modulation happening, but just for fun, I'm going to set up an effects modulation too. You can probably guess where we configure the left side of the effects versus the right side. And yes, it's just down here. You choose a left effect. Something fun. Let's do, yeah, this one's pretty crazy. And something interesting for the right side too. Yeah, this one's good. And now it's all set up, we can get on with mixing between these two different effect states. So at the moment it's on the left-hand side. With a little bit of delay, a nice amount of distortion and chorus. But as I move this mixer position around, there's a lot more reverb all of a sudden. You can see as I move this parameter, the effects are changing accordingly. a lovely long delay tail from a high feedback value in the delay unit. Really cool. And just for fun, why not? Let's also modulate this with an LFO. So I'll go ahead and toggle the button up here, just like the other one. And you can see the effects section being modulated over a longer period than the actual filter modulation. So you have these two different modulation speeds happening at the same time, giving you some pretty interesting results. And finally, the other main way to modulate the main mixing parameters in the morph section is by using the morph pad. This is where we can move this dot around like so to directly mix between all these different parameters at the same time. And what you have is a smooth control on the right hand side that smooths out all these modulations. So if you want the modulations to happen slower than you're physically moving it, you can adjust the smooth control. Right now it's on the fastest speed, 20 milliseconds. So pretty much immediately as I move it through the morph pad, the parameters adjust. Whereas if I set it to be maybe a second or so, as I move the dot through the morph pad, it takes a bit of time for the mixer to do its thing. Just like that. So get creative and have some fun with morphing, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.